These developments did not just come out of vacuum, out of the blue. They came out of some recent developments in linguistic theory as well, which did not just come from within Chomskyan theory as such. So these theories emphasize that it is input in the data itself that actually provides the primary structure for language learning. So you just have to focus on the data, the structure, the patterns, the templates, the frames, the kinds of regularities that you see in the data itself. But it's not languages that actually die or even originate or they become born. If I go back to the 1950s in the US, when Noam Chomsky, one of the uh, fathers of modern linguistics, who was working on machine translation projects in the MIT Electronics Laboratory. And at that moment, people were thinking that perhaps we could devise some mechanical ways in which one language can be translated into another. I think that is when Chomsky came up with his famous formal theories of language, which really helped shape much of computer science and also uh, mathematical linguistics. Now, things changed drastically over the period because as time passed by, Chomsky himself became disillusioned with the emergence of modern technologies, the modern algorithms that actually developed ways of mechanizing translation. And then things radically changed in the last 10 or 20 years, especially with the advent of deep learning technologies and big data. And also currently with big data, we got large language models and so on. Now, the fundamental thing behind the development of these tools is simply that there is some statistics which is picked up by these machines. So these machines pick up how one word is to be produced or predicted based on the statistical frequencies of the preceding words. Now, that made a huge leap when a lot of data became easily available, especially from different kinds of corpora. And English was the primary, as a language, English was the primary beneficiary because we have a huge data set in English. Now, that led to the development of different kinds of architectures for machine translation, language engineering projects, and so on. And but these developments did not just come out of vacuum, out of the blue. They came out of some recent developments in linguistic theory as well, which did not just come from within Chomskyan theory as such, but came from some other antidote theories which developed in reaction to Chomsky's theories. For example, cognitive grammar, or construction grammar, which is just an offshoot of cognitive linguistics. So these theories emphasize that it is input in the data itself that actually provides the primary structure for language learning. So you just have to focus on the data, the structure, the patterns, the templates, the frames, the kinds of regularities that you see in the data itself. So when people say this technological development has come from computer science, big data, and so on, actually that's partly a myth because much of this development was way back, there in linguistic theory, especially in the 1970s, I should say. Now, coming to the question of AI and different languages that we see, and the question of how multilingualism can thrive, and then when we are facing language endangerment and so on. Now, I have a very different view of this particular thing. So I don't think languages actually die or languages are really endangered. I think the metaphor is actually misleading. This metaphor actually came from August Schleicher, a German linguist in the 19th century, who likened language to a species uh, because he was motivated by the Darwinian uh, theory of natural selection. But it's not languages that actually die uh, or even uh, uh, or even originate, or they become born. It is people. So it's people's behavior, their social behavior, their social interactions that actually give rise to languages. So it's rather the identity, the knowledge systems of people that become endangered, if we say so. Now, coming to the development of AI, AI is definitely making certain changes because if certain prejudices become part of the algorithms, so those prejudices are also inherited into the outputs that AI provides, right? So the other danger is that we seem to take these tools to be sort of cognitive agents, equipped with or endowed with cognitive abilities, which is, of course, a fallacy that humans often make. And that is where another danger lies. So the question that that has been raised in the current platform war is very pertinent, because when you talk about multilingualism and of course the kind of language engineering projects that are being developed day by day in the current scenario, what happens is that uh, certain 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 linguistic ideologies may become part of these algorithms and may also become uh, spread into the outputs through the kind of programs that these programmers make. So the programmers' ideologies become part of the outputs, and that is where I think a great danger lies.